Hi beautiful ladies and welcome to the channel. I'm Waki and in today's tutorial we are going to be learning how to bead this turban cap using two different beading methods. For this tutorial we'll be making use of this reflective beads. It's not the regular sand beads because it has holes that are bigger. For needle size 11 beading needle will be very okay for this, but I used my small regular needle and it was able to pass through the beads. For thread, you can either use a matching color of thread or a fishing line. The first beading method is this overlapping beading pattern. I will start by making a straight line across the band of my turban cap. I'm measuring 1/4 of an inch as you can see, after which I'll use my ruler to make it into a straight line. Now this is going to serve as a guideline for my beading so everything will be uniform and even. I'm so sorry you might not see well with this chalk I'm using. You can also use a beading pencil to rule this line. Make sure you've tied the end of the thread before passing the needle to the right side of the fabric, just like I'm doing right now. Then using your needle, pick 10 beads. You are free to choose whatever number of beads you want at a time, but I use 10. When you are done, pull down the beads and pass the needle backwards and count the number of beads you want it to overlap. I used 2 for mine, so I passed my needle after 2 beats to the back. Please just watch well, it's difficult to explain at this point. From that point, you are going to pick another set of 10 beats and then pass it down just like we did for the first one. Just make sure you are following that straight line, and I've tried to zoom in so you see better. In the course of beading, you may discover that some beads are longer than others. So in such case, instead of 10, you can decide to use 9 beads for that particular set. This beading pattern is pretty repetitive, so you continue this way and I'll meet you at the end so that I'll show you how to finish it. And please, when you are beading, you are picking only one layer of fabric so the thread is not going to show on the band under. To finish this beading pattern on the end of the band, you pick the number of beads that is just enough to cover the parts left. I think 6 beads was enough for me, so there's no point using the set of 10. Just make use of whatever number you found out that can cover that particular place. And when you're done with this, you're going to pass the needle and thread to the wrong side of the band and sew it as many times as possible to secure the beads. Just make a knot on that part with your needle and thread as many times as possible. And finally cut out the thread using your scissors. We are moving on to the second method. So you start by making a knot with your thread and set aside. I wanted this beading pattern to be on the center part of my band, so I went ahead to measure my band, divide into 2 and place this measurement. I did this by folding my tape into 2. I got 1.5 as the measurement of my band, so I decided to divide it by 2, and when I was done I connected it to a straight line using my ruler. Begin beading by passing the knotted thread with needle from the wrong side to the top part of the band. Your needle and thread should come out on the straight line you drew. When you've gotten this part right, use your needle to pick the set of beads you'll be working with and stay consistent with that number, except when you are finishing the design. So I'll be working with a set of 8 beads and that's what I'll be using till I get to the finishing point. After picking the beads, pull it down in one place and slant it away from the line. The degree of slant depends on you, but mine was about 45 degrees. And when you've gotten that slant, you're going to pass the needle again towards the straight line. From that point, pick another set of 8 beads or whatever number you are working with and slant it that way and then pass it again to the straight line. We will continue this way until we get to the finishing point and I'll be back to show you how to do that. As you can see, I already beaded the other part and ended somewhere around the center. You should also bead that way. Bead one part, end at the center and continue from the other side. And at this point, we have gotten to almost finish and we'll be explaining how to go about this part. When you get towards the end, just count the number of beads that you know will follow the shape. For instance, at a point I was using 6 beads instead of the 8. So when you are done passing your beads through the needle, you are going to place it and see how well it aligns with other designs. Then you feel free to add or subtract when necessary. When you get to the final beading set, pass your needle to the wrong side of the fabric just like we did for the other side and you are going to knot it in place. go ahead and knot as many times as possible, and your turban cap is ready. I'm going to show you how it looks like on me.